Here, Improbable Garage, and I have no idea what this video is going to be because I need to solve some random problems on random vehicles. The primary one and why I'm filming right now, I hit the mother of all speed bumps with this and managed to I hit the speed bump that didn't even look like much, and I didn't think I was going that fast. That was so steep that I slammed the inner part of both lower control arms against the speed bump as I hit it, and it drove the tires so hard up into the van that I sliced the absolute hell out of this tire. Fortunately, the other one on the other side seems to have gotten away scot-free. I don't think that one hit at all, but that tire, I'm not driving around on that. So I've got to pull that off. Unfortunately, I apparently forgot to buy the road hazard warranty. There must have been some miscommunication between me and the tire guy, so now I have to pay for the tire, but whatever. I got to pull it off, I got to throw it in the back of the car, I got to go take it to get dealt with, and then I'm gonna work on other I literally have no idea what I'm doing right now. It's finally warm enough I can do something, so I got to do something. Alright, so in addition to be brutally cold this year, this has just been a nastier year than we've had for a little while. That means everything has gone all corroded and gross and rusty. Like, you can see how gnarly this wheel is. It's all corroded around the lug holes. The brand new lugs are all rusty. My cover here is going all rusty. The bumper's going all rusty. The grill's going all rusty. Everything's just like covered in salts, covered in corrosion, and it's driving me nuts. This is going to be, not now, because I'm not going to bother until the winter's over, but I got a lot of cleaning up corrosion to do in the spring, and probably some like rework. I wish I could find another grill that didn't have as many rust pox as this one does, but that's not an easy ask. Ditto for a bumper like that. But this is going to get thrown in the back of the sole. Take that over. It's running right now because the battery is dead, because that's probably what I'm going to work on. The terminals on the battery are really gross, so they need to be cleaned of corrosion and everything, so that, because right now if the battery is the slightest bit low, it doesn't start. It's dropped off. Now we're going to make the sole start better. This is what I was talking about. Like, it's just gnarly as heck under here. So what I'm going to do, remove these from the battery, remove them from the cables. This is baking soda water. Literally threw some baking soda and poured some warm water on it. I'm going to scrub everything with that, give it all a quick rinse with fresh water. Then I got a set of those. These go under the terminals to help prevent that, and then I'm going to spray the terminals themselves with a battery protector spray, and then that should solve this problem. So in case it's not blindingly obvious, there is a ton of corrosion hiding in this thing. The reason you use baking soda, you can do it, you should probably have it more of a slurry than water, but I kind of half-assed it. Is the baking soda neutralizes the acid, which is what all this green goo is, which helps you clean it out. You want to get it out of as much of it as humanly possible. The older style clamps were much easier to completely clean. These modern stamped ones have so many more little nooks and crevices and stuff that it kind of hides in. Part of why I think they get this nasty. Unfortunately, I took this nut off to try and get the bolt out, and the nut promptly yeeted itself somewhere. So I'm probably just going to have to put a regular nut on in its place, which I'm a little unhappy about having done that. Like, yeah, just look at this. Look at how nasty all this stuff is. I am going to come in. I have a special wire brush thing for cleaning off the posts and cleaning these out. That's going to get the metal nice and shiny so it'll make a good connection. But right now I'm trying to get in here. And unfortunately, this bolt will not... oh, Jesus criminy. Like, look, I don't know if I can show this to you before it does. There's like chunks inside here, and if you don't do a very good job of neutralizing it, if there's already acid, it just makes it that much easier for it to go all nasty again. So you got to do a really good thorough job if you want a good thorough long-term fix. Alright, well that helped, but didn't solve. I think I'm going to have to call that as good as it gets. Because yes, like there is now just a coating of baking soda in the bottom of this. And it's still not getting these fully clean. I'm not surprised this thing was so temperamental about starting, if the battery was even slightly down. Unfortunately, this car has a problem, and where the interior dome light doesn't come on with the doors. So my partner has had the unfortunate problem of, because she needs to find something in the car when she gets home, she turns the dome light on and then forgets that she's done so, because you know how often you actually turn the dome light on, and then comes back out the next day and the car is dead because the dome light was on overnight. And I've asked on the Kia boards, maybe this is where you can see more than correct. I've asked on the Kia groups that I'm on, that I joined, and got no useful information other than other people saying, yeah, I had a problem with it. One really, they wanted to be helpful, you know, God bless them. But somebody was like, I had that exact same problem, and I brought it to my mechanic, and he did something, and it worked for a while, and it stopped working again. And it's like, I appreciate you giving me the data you have, but unfortunately that is not helpful. But yeah, so I haven't figured out the issue, but I'm gonna, as a temporary fix for that, I'm gonna probably change the bulbs to LED bulbs, because at the very least then they're drawing so little power that hopefully it won't be an issue. It won't kill the battery overnight. But let's get some more fresh water on this battery, rinse all this off, dry all this off, clean the inside of these terminals with the wire brush thingy, and then reassemble. It's basically just an oil-based thing that just keeps the air out so that the corrosion has trouble forming. But yeah, there we go. So let's make sure it starts. Alrighty, good. And there we go. Shiny new tire. This knot will cut to hell. So that solves that problem. Oh, so I wanted to show something. So this area, for some reason, has completely just rotted to hell in the couple of years since I did the body work. Inside and like this is just, you can see it's perforated all through here. Unfortunately, they don't sell a patch panel for this. So I've been trying to find someone with a Southern van they're parting out to hack out this section and mail it to me, which is turning out to be surprisingly difficult. I mean, it feels like it should be like 5 minutes with a Sawzall, but I've had no luck. And then over here, where I did the work before, this has started rotting in this area. And this was a bit of a janky area to repair. because they at the time didn't sell a patch panel for this. So like some of this is the original, like around here I believe was the original. This was the patch paneling through here, and then I had to do some funky stuff to make it work and fit in there, because the wheel well patch panel was for the longer van, you know, and it went out to like here, and it's a slightly different shape. And this area here just apparently something didn't go right there. So they now apparently sell a patch panel that goes there. I don't know if it's the Shorty barn door patch panel, but there is a patch panel for that. So once I locate that front one, if I'm really lucky, I can find somebody cutting up a Shorty barn door van and I can get them to chop that section out too. But one of the things I need to address as soon as I can get the hold of those. Unfortunately, there's another problem that I can't fix right now, which is last night I was driving this and the turn signals weren't working at all. I had no turn signals. They didn't blink on the dash, they didn't blink on the car, they didn't make the clicking noise, no nothing. The hazards worked because I tested that while I was driving. But lights on, lights off, no turn signals. I had this happen once before, in almost the exact same circumstance. Driving late at night, just no turn signals at all. And just like then, when I came out the next morning to try and mess with it, they work fine. So I don't know what's going on. And I tried with the lights on, testing them and stuff, but I don't know. It's very frustrating because it only happens at night when I'm going somewhere, and then when I try and go fix it, it doesn't happen. But nothing I can do about it right now. Alright, so I'm in the Soul trying to do the heated seats, and I ripped everything apart, and these are weird cars. So there is a spot in the fuse panel for a seat heater. This car didn't have them, obviously, because if I tore the seats apart, I would have found the heaters in it. There's no buttons for seated heats, no nothing. But there's a spot in the fuse box. Okay, fine, you know, it's an option, don't have it. Except there's already a fuse in there. Every single fuse location is filled in the box. Even stuff like that the vehicle clearly doesn't have. And I've been doing some Googling trying to find out, okay, where does the factory heated seat plug in? So I can, like, oh, you know, co-opt that connector. No idea. There's no obvious connector in there. You know, there's nothing down in here. There's nothing in here. I've looked online. There's no, here's the connector. Everything I found with somebody who put heated seats in a Kia this age, like, I found like 2 posts, to be clear. They ran their own wiring. So there's a fuse that I have no idea where it goes to, but somewhere in this car there's a connector with power for a heated seat, but no idea what. So what I'm going to do, since this needs a 15 amp circuit, is these front power ports are on a 20 amp fuse, and this has its own 15 amp. So I can tap into that. The only thing I need to figure out, and I need to go get the my electrical stuff to do so, is find out if this is constant power or if this is switched power. If this is switched power, perfect, super easy, because then I just run all the wires to it, done. If these are constant power, I can run the main power to it, but then I still have to find somewhere else around here that has only power when the key is on. Because for obvious reasons, I don't want the heated seats running when the car is off, because 1, kill the battery. We've already had that problem in this car. And 2, I don't want a heater running when nobody's there. It's a fire risk. So the radio almost certainly is going to have a switched power, and I probably can find a wiring diagram for the radio plug. So that's a source for it. So I got to go get my electrical stuff, come in here and start doing some stuff. The only thing I don't like is for a 20 amp fuse, these are some thin wires. I'm going to compare it to what's here. But then again, you know, that's designed to have a fair amount of power go through it because it is a power port. So I'm going to decide that Kia decided that was good enough for 20 amps and just use it. All right, let's find out here. So This body here is what's negative, and the center here is what's positive. And hopefully you can see that. We got nothing. Hang on. Stay. So on the metal, on the center, nada. Key on. Come on. Now I'm really confused. Okay, metal, metal. Did I pop a fuse? What have I done? Oh. You know, you can only register something if you have the connector plugged in. Quality, you know, the finest quality, and I believe free from Harbor Freight connectors. All right, so 12 with the power on. Nada with, yes, nice and easy. So perfect. This connector is only live with the power in the car on. All right, so got my power wires hooked to the center power stud of this. There's a little bit of a faff to get all the pieces. When this came apart, all the pieces went over, including the bolt went down there, so you saw me kind of fumble around for it. But that's now back together. The ground goes down to one of the 4 mount bolts for the shifter. So that should be all good. So sorry about the dinging, but we're about to find out whether or not this does anything. So on, those just lit up. And I've got lights. So I'm gonna crank this to full tilt. I didn't hook those to the, technically there's 3 wires, power wires that goes to these. There's the actual power itself. There's the trigger wire, you know, that goes to the key circuit to tell it to turn on and off. And then there's a 3rd wire that hooks to the dash lights if you want it to dim and brighten with the dash. I just ran them all to the same thing because I didn't care about the dash lights or whatever, so it means those will always have little emblems lit up. But I'm totally fine with that. I think they're heating up. It's hard to be sure, especially because I've been sitting in the seat for a while, so the seat itself's already warm. But I'm going to assume that they're working, and we'll go to dinner or something tonight and confirm that they're working. I thought that video was over, and then my partner had real bad luck. She's getting on the highway, took a corner too sharp, and hit a curb, and the tire went flat. But it's got no visible damage. So we're going to see how lucky we got. So if I'm really, really lucky, she just hit the curb just right. No, I think I see a slit, but we're going to find out. I was about to say, if we're really lucky, she just pushed it off the bead, but I think there's a slit over there. Yep, unfortunately. Yep, she cut it. That's a bummer. I mean, we were going to have to buy 2 new tires for this in the spring. I guess we're buying 2 new tires now. So, yeah, there is a cut right there that the minute it had any pressure in it, opened up. So, what's going to happen, I guess, is that I'm going to be buying 2 new tires sooner than I hoped to. That's a bummer. Stuff happens, you know, whatever. I'm just glad she's okay. So, I, of course, did my thing. I immediately went on Facebook Marketplace, started looking for tires, blah, 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 blah. She did the smart thing and called a local tire shop. And turned out she got tires for $60 a pop. So we just put 2 new tires on the front. We were going to have to get 2 new tires in the spring, because those are snow tires, so I guess we're just doing it a little early. So that was a bummer. That was money we didn't need to spend, though ironically those 2 tires were about the same price as the 1 tire for the van. And then while those rims were at the tire shop getting tires mounted to them, she borrowed the van, and unfortunately it's so much wider than her car, she misjudged something and took the flare right off the side of it. I'm upset, but I'm not upset with her. Shit happens. You never saw it because I never finished it, but back in March I ran the van into the side of the garage here, and I cracked the hell out of that flare. It didn't break like into pieces, but it broke pretty badly. It had cracks all the way the depth of it and whatnot. And I patched it together, but these flares are a really weird thin plastic that didn't, I was trying to use plastic welding and it didn't go super well. So it was holding together, but it didn't look great. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with it. So when she scraped it on something, it just, in the cold, it just completely shattered. So that's a bummer. She said she collected up the pieces. So yeah, these are all the bits and pieces. You can see my repairs. I was trying to use one of those, trying to use a plastic welding kit as well as the little like plastic staple things that you heat them up and press them in. But this stuff's so thin compared to a modern plastic bumper that you couldn't actually press them all the way in, or they would come out the other side. So that's a bummer. That's a real bummer. I don't know what I'm going to do yet about that. What I'm probably just going to do is take off the broken pieces and figure it out from there, though I may try and reassemble it while it's still on the van and holding the because it's actually cracked from before. It's actually cracked down into the like, you know, this part that's still here is in pieces. Part of the problem is I sprayed the inside of this with bed liner to protect, so if a rock hit the inside of it, it wouldn't spall the paint on the other side, but that complicates any sort of welding or fabrication because you've got this layer of plasticky rubber in there. I'll figure it out, but it's kind of just a bummer. Like I said, I'm not upset with her. Like, she didn't do anything wrong. She screwed up. Shit happens. I mean, I'm in no place to judge when I fucked up the tire a few days ago. So, but it's still just, it sucks. It's a bummer because flares for these are hard to get. I will figure something out. But it's probably going to wait till the spring. I've got some ideas. I've stuff I could do, whether it's rebuild that. Maybe I'll get cool and high tech and I'll scan the one on the other side and have it 3D print a replacement that's a, you know, mirror image of it. I don't know. I really don't. But it's just not been a good couple of days. I'm going to end this video here because I don't want any more expensive content to happen for it. So that'll be it for now. Thank you all for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.